functions of poetry. Poetry has two functions. It makes you think, and it helps you escape. And I, right now with the things that are going on, there ain't nothing wrong with wanting to escape for an hour or so and listen to the words of someone who will live on much, much longer than all of us. William
He's
Wordsworth.
1850 was when he passed away.
Yeah, he was
So he was
he
born late 1700s.
yes,
Wow.
he was for that time period. He lived a quite a long life. Let's see who's in the comments here.
Say hello to Batman.
Batman. Hey, Batman's my favorite. I am a Batman fan.
He's a lovely man, is Batman.
See my tattoo.
Ah, look. Brilliant.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So
So we're talking William Wordsworth today.
yeah, so William Wordsworth
Okay.
today. So you think we should do a little housekeeping first, though?
Which one?
Yeah.
Sorry, say again.
Hi everybody. How y'all doing?
Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Okay, and the usual subscribe to us and all that stuff.
That one.
Yeah,
Please
and
like, share, and subscribe.
and if you're on Mrs. J's channel, go over to my channel because we figured out how to do it on both on
Yes,
at the same time.
yes,
Now,
we've done it. For the
one step at a
multi.
time. We're old. It takes us a while to get the newfangled technology down. All
Yeah,
right,
it was
so
learning how to restream
mhm,
and do two
mhm.
streams at the same time, huh?
and if you watch this on the replay, hi, hey Jen, how you doing? So let's see here. We got let's do a little information about a little history on our subject for today. The poet laureate himself, William Wordsworth. Pulling up the handy dandy Wikipedia page here. Get it in the right
Yeah, tell
position.
me about him. What's great about William then?
Well, let's see here. He was a poet of the Romantic age. This is the Romantic poets, as opposed to the Enlightenment poets or the non-romantic ones. You know, and he was famous for his publication of like the lyrical ballads. Him and Samuel Taylor Coleridge in his early life. Like he was born April 7th of 1770. He was actually noble to the Wordsworth House in Cockermouth, Cumberland. Is that how you
Co-
Cockermouth?
yeah, Cockermouth. Yeah, Cockermouth.
Cockermouth.
Cumberland.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cumberland.
Cumberland, which is in the northeast.
Yeah,
So they talk like that
yeah,
where he's from.
and then his sister Dorothy Wordsworth was also a poet and diarist, so he had a literary family, and of course
Oh wow.
he came from money, so of course he had the ability to devote his life to his art, like some fortunate people were. Let's see here. Wordsworth was taught to read by his mother, like a lot of yeah, kids were like that. Okay, this is the interesting part. He went to revolutionary France in 1791, and he had a relationship with someone named Annette Vallon, Vallo.
Fallon. Fallon, yeah.
They had a kid named Caroline. And then, of course, he ended up taking care of Caroline, but he was never, I guess she was considered illegitimate because he ended up marrying someone else. Let me find.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, so yeah, he ended up marrying. It's in here somewhere. Uh, oh, okay, Mary Hutchison is who he ended up marrying.
Right.
Um, And then of course he ended up became famous for all of his poetry and stuff. He had four kids, looks like. Yeah, four kids. No, more than that. Eight kids. Eight kids. Was poet laureate until his death in it was 1850.
Yes,
So,
1850.
and I
And he
first heard
died.
of
He died. I think he died in Italy, if
here.
I
Let me pull
remember
that
right.
back
If
up and
because
see.
I was reading up on him today.
Let me pull up here where it should say in his little biographical here. No,
Am I right?
it doesn't. No, no, no. Here, okay. No, actually, he died in England, in
Oh,
Rydell,
okay. Oh, it might
in
have been.
in Rydell.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm getting him mixed up with another one of those poets that I like.
Yeah, we were talking about Keats earlier, but it might have.
Yeah, it might have been
Yeah,
Keats. Yeah,
yeah,
it might have
okay.
been Keats.
That's for next week.
Yeah, yeah. We're going to talk
Mm,
about Keats next week.
but in the meantime, um, let's see here. Let's pull up. Of course, one of my favorites by him is "I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud."
Okay, let me get
Let
it up.
let let's
Let
start
me
off.
show everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I wandered lonely as a cloud because that way everyone can
Mm-hmm.
read
Everyone
the
can read
poem.
along with us.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Oh, there we go. So
Okay, so
let me just.
we got our first sextet here. If you'll see, the first verse is 6 lines, and that is what is called a sextet. Okay, so
Okay.
I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high over vales and hills. When all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. I just love that, don't you? Just that
Beautiful. It's
beautiful,
absolutely beautiful.
you know, you know, and especially me coming from the country and everything. It just reminds me of just the when I was a kid, just going around and uh, running the running the backwoods around here and stuff, and going through the woods, and then you come up in a meadow and you got all the grass and the flowers. It's just beautiful. So, shall we continue?
Yes.
Okay. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 I saw at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. Oh,
Wow.
that just gives me chills,
That's
because
stunning.
I
You
can
can
see,
imagine it, can't
because
you?
yeah, you can see how beautiful. Even though he uses that rhyme, he paints this picture. He uses these different. They twinkle on the Milky Way. It brings you into. You see this huge line of these yellow daffodils in this green hill by a sparkling bay. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so here the next sextet. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such jaunced company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. I think that's a good thing. He gazed, but he didn't think how the how how fortunate, how wealthy, how rich he is by seeing this scene. So for oft when on my couch I lie in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon the inward eye, which is blessed. Excuse me, which is the bliss of solitude, and then my heart with pleasure fills. and dances with the daffodils. So he got it, the
Yeah.
the the purpose of that. He saw this scene. Yes, Willie, definitely. The daffodils just dancing there, and I remember going over this in college, and the professor, it was like he smart, he was happy when he was talking about it. And that's what the entertainment does for us, because let's face it, being alive in a lot of ways sucks. You got to deal with, for example, what you just went through with your surgery. And I didn't think I was going to make it this week, because
Yeah.
because I was in the ER on Thursday with I got diverticulitis, and that was horrid. But I had something to look forward to, and exactly. Uh, so so here, let's go. Some more things about Wordsworth.
Yeah. Let's
Oh,
talk a little bit
talk.
more about him.
Oh, okay. So Wordsworth was. Let's go into his early life. The second of five children born to John Wordsworth and Anne Coxon. William Wordsworth, of course, he was born on April 7th, 1770. Um, I already talked about his sister a little bit. Um, let's see here. They had three other siblings. Richard, the eldest, who became a lawyer, which was usually what the eldest child did. They went into the law. John, born after Dorothy, went to sea and died in 1805 when his ship, which he was captain of, wrecked off the south coast of England. Which, like noble families, the second son usually went into the military. And the youngest, who entered the church, and of course, like they like usually happened, he became the master of Trinity College. Christopher is his name. Yeah, Christopher Wordsworth. Wordsworth's father was a legal representative of James Lowther, Lowther. So yes, these people were connected, extremely connected.
So it gave him time to write such beautiful poetry.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunate, and it's kind of reminds me of my own situation. I'm retired from the Navy on disability, and my my circumstances right now are where I can actually concentrate on my work. Happy birthday, Jen! Why didn't you tell us that before?
Happy birthday, honey.
You wanna sing happy birthday to her?
No,
You know.
don't make me don't make me do that. I'll say happy birthday, Jen, but I'm not singing it live on YouTube. You know what I mean?
And a gentleman never asked the lady her age, so I will refrain from asking you that question. But happy birthday! I guess it's a good start to your birthday. Watching us make fools of ourselves on YouTube. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's an amazing poem, and what it does for me is it's the imagination. You can really go wild in your imagination
Mhm.
with how that would look, because I know what the Northeast looks like.
Yeah.
I know how rugged it is and how mountainous it is, but there is amazing farmland and woodland up there. And to see that many daffodils to
Mhm.
write, where you just, I can't imagine that there is,
Oh.
whereas now they're all gone. The farm, it's all been cultivated,
Mhm.
built on, etc. So these daffodils have gone.
But they're
And
not.
but they're not. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, they are
yeah,
around. But it's just
yeah.
we don't have them like that anymore. Where you just see for miles and
Mhm.
miles and miles wild daffodils. Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
Amazing.
there are some places around here where I live, like north of here. Some of the cow pastures during the springtime. Oh, you're still a young pup.
Yeah, so I'll leave it up.
There are some places where, like a couple cow pastures, where during the spring, when the Easter lilies are out, right, and it'll be big fields of white lilies and stuff. Next
Wow.
spring, if I can think about it, maybe go around and take pictures. Like I'll be driving down the roads, and there's all kinds of wildflowers because I live in basically farmland. There's
Right.
a lot of cow pastures and other farms around here still, even though still rural. But and that's one of the things that actually I can identify with Wordsworth, all of his imagery, because I've experienced similar things in my own life. Growing up, living around here, and I'm a country boy at heart. So his stuff speaks to me there. So I guess the next one we'll attack.
Well, before that, we've all got to just make sure we've got one in our hand because I don't have one in my
Hmm.
hand. So I need to
Well,
get
you
that
go ahead
sorted.
and do.
It's
You go
nearly
ahead.
that time, isn't it?
Yes, it is
It
nearly
is
that time.
nearly that time.
I will
Nearly that
bring up
time.
the next one here. Make sure the little browser is ready.
Right.
Uh,
Anyway, let me get sorted.
mhm.
I didn't
Ah,
mean to kick myself then. Sorry.
that's okay. It happens.
Right. Yeah, he's just a never ending.
Yeah.
I can see in 100 years, in 500 years, people are still going to be talking about how
Hmm.
stunning
Yeah.
daffodils are in the
Yeah.
spring and bring up Wordsworth. It is
Eh,
it is, I would say, one of the most famous poems
Well,
that
and
I know anyway.
yeah, and you never know. They might. If can you imagine some scholar going on the future internet, going Wordsworth, and like we have a we'll hashtag Wordsworth in this thing in the description, and
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
bring up our little discussion here.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
just amazing.
I hadn't thought of it like that, but yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, and
Right, I'm just rolling now. Okay.
yeah, we might be a future footnote in some scholar's paper about Wordsworth.
That'd be funny.
You know what?
To show that man, it's amazing. Get the roll on. Have you all rolled up?
Oh, I got the pre rolls.
Yeah, I don't do pre rolls. I just do it on the spot every now and
Yeah,
again. Right. Oh, I got
makes
my
it more,
lighter.
makes it more convenient for something like this. And like I
Right.
said, I get them pretty cheap. So
So, which one are we going to do next? And then I can get organised.
to the Skylark,
To the Skylark.
yes, which coming from being from the country, birds. You ought to hear some of the. They're really loud out here, really really loud. But we don't have. I don't think I've ever heard skylarks, but we have like there's these whippoorwills. Oh my God, it's 420! Yay! Here,
420. 420. We know what to do. We know
quick
what to
break.
do. Quick break.
Mm-hmm. No, I was telling you, we have these whippoorwills that live out here, and I've tried to record them because you'll hear them go. One will call over here, and then you'll hear one call over here. Then you'll hear him call back and forth. It's beautiful hearing them, but I try to record them, and the mic on my phone won't pick them up, or at least when I try to play it back, I don't hear it. But they're beautiful. Maybe that's actually be a subject of something to write about. But I don't know if you've ever heard. Have you ever heard of whippoorwill?
No, but the name's intriguing me because it's probably the sound that it makes, I
Yes,
presume.
it goes. I can't. I'll embarrass myself by trying to do it, but it sounds like.
I
When,
nearly spat my water out then.
yeah, I'm not going to.
Sorry.
You're not going to embarrass yourself singing the happy birthday to Jen. I'm not going to embarrass myself by too much more
Yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
trying to imitate a whippoorwill. But yeah, they're
Oh,
beautiful.
brilliant.
It's a very haunting sound too, especially really early in the morning. Like I'll walk down to the store to get breakfast or something, and they'll be out calling to each other, and if you don't have no traffic and it's the right time of year where there's no air conditioners going, it's hauntingly beautiful.
Skylarks are stunning as well. The
From
sound when they jump out of the long grass.
Mhm,
I used to have a lovely little dog called Neo, and he was sort of the same height as the grass, and
mhm.
he'd run through, and then they'd shoot up in the air and hover and sing. And are just amazing. And that's up in Gloucestershire.
Mhm.
And up on Dartmoor, you hear the skylarks as well. If you don't know what a skylark sounds like, please
I'll look it
please
up.
go and
Yeah,
yeah, please look it up. It's beautiful.
because because that reminds me of when we went over Wordsworth in literature class when I was in college. The professor did spend a, a, a good amount of time actually describing the flight and how it sounded and how that was the inspiration for Wordsworth to write the poem. And
Oh wow. Shall I
yeah,
shall I bring it up? Shall I bring the
yes,
poem up?
let's bring it
Okay.
up. We have another one here.
Okay, folks. Oh,
Okay,
there we go. I'm
bring it
just about
up
to
and
share.
okie
I'm going
dokie.
to make it slightly bigger and slightly bigger. Oh, and in the middle a bit. There we go.
Okay,
Hopefully, yeah, that's going to work. Yeah.
okay, that's good. I can see. Okay, so we have here. Excuse me. The first sextet here is, of course, it's to a skylark. Ethereal minstrel, pilgrim of the sky, dost thou despise the earth where cares abound? Or while the wings aspire, our heart and I both with thy nest upon the dewy ground, thy nest which thou canst drop into at will, those quivering wings composed that music still. Isn't that's a good description of what you just talked about earlier about your dog coming up? He's the nest is on the ground and shooting up, and
Yes.
they only sing when they're flying.
Yes. Yes.
If they're perching, they don't sing. I'll have all kinds of birds around here just yapping at me like get away and stuff. Um, and birds always remind me of freedom. You know, I've even written about it. Like I did a one of my videos is a haiku called Freedom, and it goes, uh, "Birds are uh, birds are on the wing, and the wind blows round and round, and thistledown flies on." That.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So let's go here for the next one.
Oh, let me get it up so I can read it. Yep.
Okay. So leaves to the nightingale her shady wood, or it says, "Leave to the nightingale her shady wood. A privacy of glorious light is thine, whence thou dost pour upon the world a flood of harmony with intent, instinct more divine, type of the wise who soar but never roam, true to the kindred spirit of heaven and home." I guess he's saying, basically be
Here on.
yourself. You know, the beauty of the skylark is the fact that it is a skylark. You know, when it does its thing, it's magical. I
It
had a
is.
I had a
Yeah.
sparrow land on my shoulder the other day. That's freaking great. Of course, the saying, "Bird in the hand's worth two in the bush." It's better to have one in the hand. That's magical. But yeah,
Yes.
I had a butterfly land on go down the road to the store with me the other day. It was kind of funny. It fluttered around and it land back on me, and then I'd walk and it'd flutter around and it'd come and land back on me for a little while. It was interesting.
Wow, cool.
Mhm. So that was to a skylark. Uh,
No matter what anybody says,
hmm I have not seen that movie in years. I need
words
to
and
see it.
ideas can change the world.
Yes,
It's
they
true.
can. Yes, they can. And words are one of those things that live on. That uh, that they can outlast us, and they can be our legacy. And it's just like any tool. It's how you use them. You know, it's amazing that we know the thoughts of people that lived 5,000 years ago. You know, or longer. And poetry, again, to get back to the to the theme. Poetry is those words that deserve to live on. And I'm not saying that just because I'm a poet. But anybody, I don't think anybody. How can I put this? Anybody can write. Period. All you got to do is learn how to write. Any person is capable of writing
Or memorizing.
or memorizing.
Or
So
memorizing.
so there's and that's that is knowledge is the democratization of the human species. The more you learn, the more you know, the more equal you are. In a lot of ways, knowledge is power and stuff. And I just lost my train of thought. So
It's 4:20. That's what happens.
yeah, well, it's 4:28 now, but so let's go
Yeah,
over.
that's what
So
happens when we start this show, though. We
yeah,
start it a little bit. Oh yeah, we know, yeah, and then
go.
and then the
Okay.
drink kicks in. That's what makes it good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
Let's
nice.
let's go on to his. What does it say? I used to write poems, but got a block now. Okay. Bumblebee T, bring that back up. Bring that back up, please, Miss
Okay.
J.
Oh, where is it? Here
I
it
was
is.
right where you are in my 30s. Uh, I didn't write hardly anything, and I remember hearing something that I don't know if you've ever heard of the Goo Goo Dolls. Have you ever heard of the Goo Goo Dolls? Have you ever seen the movie City of Angels? Nicolas Cage, Meg
I
Ryan.
have. Yeah,
That
yeah. He
song,
says he's an angel that falls
yeah,
in love with her.
the song Iris. I'd give up
Oh,
forever to
okay.
touch you. That was done by the Goo Goo Dolls, right?
Oh,
Well,
okay.
the lead singer, I forget his name right off the bat. Look it up. It's a very hauntingly beautiful song. I highly recommend it. The lead singer was suffering from a block. He thought it was a block, but it the way he got over it was he wrote Iris because he said up until that point what he was writing he thought was bad. He was the problem,
Yeah.
and it was the same way with me. And I was writing what I thought was bad, and I was churning over the same stuff over and over again. I was getting into a rut. The only way to get out of the rut is just to keep on going. So pick up a pen and write.
You sit with blank paper around, don't you?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Yeah, yeah. And that paper's with you, and then you just write it down, and then just
Yeah, if
write
I
whatever
get
down.
if I get a thought, it goes down. It might lead to something. It might not.
Well, you need to write a poem about the widdly wee bird, whatever it's called. What's it
Oh, the
called?
whippoorwill.
Not widdly wee.
You can do it, Bumblebee, and then you can join me on my channel because thinking about starting a different series, actually featuring just poets, and none of the 420 stuff, but just serious poetry discussions and stuff. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
420 on mine.
Definitely. See, there's the thing. There's the time to be serious, and there's the time to have fun.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
yeah,
this is the time to have fun, because
yeah.
this world is a shit sandwich a lot of the times. It just depends on the amount of Dijon you have on it, you know,
Or ketchup in the UK.
or ketchup,
Yeah,
or
that's good.
sorry, need to go to sleep. I'm very exhausted. You watch us on the replay, Bumblebee T.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, the Whitley
eh,
Reaper. The wink, what is it?
Whippoorwill, Whippoorwill.
Whippoorwill. I need to sing it. Try and remember
Yeah,
it.
whippoorwill. Yeah, yeah, that
Whippoorwill.
is something. Hopefully, yeah, that is actually here. See, let me write that down. To a whippoorwill, maybe.
Whippoorwill, not a Whitley Wee.
To a whippoorwill. WPRW. There. So that's the idea. Maybe I'll.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe
is Bat
inspire.
is Batman saying night, or
He's saying the night to Bumble.
okay? So considering where okay, I'm a retired electrician gardener now. It's always you damn straight, Willie. You and I are on the same page there. I'm a retired disabled vet poet.
And I'm married to marijuana, so I'm Mrs. J.
Yeah.
Because I've always got a J in my hand.
Whereabouts in the world are you located? Bright quick bubble BT. I'm trying to get.
She's southeast from here,
Oh, so she's in the
UK.
UK. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Good. Because I know it's
yeah,
like
she's
still the
UK.
afternoon there.
It is. Yeah.
Yes.
420, man. 420.
420. 420. Where'd it go?
The next poem
The next
you
poem is
you
his most famous, Tintern Abbey.
yeah, we
And
just talked about this because I love Tinton
considering,
Abbey. I really love it. I love Tinton Abbey. I
well,
really do. If you've not
tell us a
been,
little bit about Tintern Abbey, Miss J. Tell us, please.
Tint
Inform my American butt on the beauty of Tintern Abbey.
let me just take that off there as well. Sorry, Willie Lee. There it is. So Tinton Abbey, you can go and visit. It's on the River Wye, which wheedles its way through Wales, and this is in the southwest part of Wales, just north of Chepstow. Um, it's slap bang right on the river. And behind it, you can vaguely see the hills behind there, but there's huge woods and trees, and it's absolutely magnificent. There is the monks there would produce lots of different things, and now they have just a shop there. And obviously, after King Henry VIII destroyed it, because it's an abbey which is Catholic, it now remains a beautiful visitors centre, I suppose you could call it now. And the National Heritage look after it. It's absolutely magnificent. And if you're ever just no, not Tintagel, Tintern Abbey, which is just off the River Wye, and it's slap bang in the middle of the Forest of Dean. And in the Forest of Dean, it's right on the border with Wales. And this, if I remember, I can't remember if it's in Gloucestershire. I think it's in Gloucestershire actually. Yeah. So this is in the Forest of Dean in Gloucestershire, and you go over the border just as you go through Chepstow, and it brings you into here. So you can imagine it's on the Welsh English border, and the river is the division between the two. Magnificent building. Please go and see it if you're ever that way.
Well,
It's
well,
amazing.
well. Visiting the UK is on my bucket list, and that seems more like, since I'm meeting people from there, I might be able to do that sooner than later. And
Yeah.
definitely,
So this is See, you're saying this is his most famous poem, whereas for me, I would say I Wandered Lonely as a Cloud would have been
Mhm.
his most famous poem. Maybe in the UK, maybe I don't know. I don't know. Um, Answers
Well,
on a
well,
Postcard.
well. Here,
Um,
here in the states, this is the one that I actually knew before I got into college. I think we went
oh,
over.
okay.
Mhm. So,
So the question there, let's just read that. How many mosquitoes in that region? Zero. We don't have mosquitoes. We don't have mosquitoes. We have these little things called nits, which isn't a mosquito, and they fly around and they just slightly damage you. But no, we don't get mosquitoes here.
oh, we have mosquitoes here. Oh my God, they're like freaking helicopters sometimes, big.
Yeah, I'm saying we don't get
But
mosquitoes
plus
here.
we have the little bitty ones that really hurt when they bite you.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing we have here. It's these
Hmm.
little weirdy, tiny little things.
Okay, so here from lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey on revisiting the banks of the Wye
Okay.
during a tour July 13th, 1798. So we got the setup here. I actually like to
I
put
used to kayak past it
cool.
all the
Yeah,
time. Yeah.
and one thing he does here, I actually like to put dates sometimes in my stuff. My dog might interrupt us for a minute here. Let's pause this right quick so I can take him out. It's very inconvenient.
That's okay. I
But
can say hello to people in the chat.
okay, you entertain them for a minute, Miss J, and I will be right back.
Not a problem. You know how it works, folks, with the doggies. Um, how are the sweets and pastries? Good. We have really good sweets and pastries. There is a restaurant right by Tinton Abbey as well. Anarchy, good to see you, and welcome to the stream. We're talking poetry today because, well, it's 4:20 and we thought we'd do something different. And next week we're going to be doing Keats, which will be really good. Right, what have I got? I can show you. There we go. Come back up here. Oh yeah, the other one I wanted to show you was that poetry, beauty, and romance, love. That's all we need to stay alive. Um, it's true. It's true. Yeah, strawberries for everyone. If you want a punnet of strawberries, in fact, I'm actually eating grapes today. Rather than strawberries because I find a grape keeps my mouth a little bit moist when I'm talking, which is a bit gross to tell you, but it's true. We do, yeah. And at the moment, here in the Bay, we have a massive music festival going on just over the hill. And I'm thinking, I bet you can hear, got Shy FX playing over the hill at the moment. Let's have a look. See, I know you guys would want me to read this, but I'm really rubbish at reading them. That's the problem I have. Let's bring it down so I can see what you're saying. There we go. And motorbikes, because the other side of the hill is a biker's place. Read it. It's the thing is my F&G kicks in because I get nervous. 5 years have passed, 5 summers, with the length of 5 long winters, and again I hear these waters rolling from their mountain springs, with the soft inland murmur. Once again, do I behold these steep and lofty cliffs that on a wild, secluded scene impress through a more deep seclusion and connect the landscape with the quiet of the sky. The day is come where I once again repose. Here under the dark sycamore and view these plots of cottage ground, these orchard tufts, which at this season, with their unripe fruits, are clad in one green hue. I lose themselves. Mid groves and coppices, once again I see these hedgerows, hardly hedgerows, little lines of sportive wood run wild, these pastoral farms, green to their very door, and wreaths of smoke sent up in silence from among the trees. Within some certain notice, as might seem, of vagrant dwellers in the houseless woods, or of some hermit's cave where by his fire the hermit sits alone. And I'll wait for poets. How did I do? How did I do? What's my channel? This is my channel. What's my channel? This is my channel. I am Mrs. J. I am Mrs. J. That is my channel. At I am Mrs. J on YouTube. Oh, did I do all right? We did all right, Loki. We did all right. Loki says hello, everybody. He's just come up. Come on then. Don't know if he's going to come up. Right. Shall I read a bit more? Shall I do the next bit? The hermit sits alone. These beauteous forms, through a long absence, have not been to me as a landscape to a blind man's eye, but oft in lonely rooms and mid the dim of towns and cities I have owed to them. In towers of wariness, sensations sweet, felt in the blood, and
Hi.
felt along. Oh, hello, along the heart. Do you want to carry on?
Yeah, just sorry about he actually wanted to go sniff. He's a really weird dog.
Some dogs
Okay.
like to do that, don't they? We
Yeah,
are
he
at.
likes to annoy me sometimes. Which part are we at?
We're at through a long absence. I'll let you go from there. I can see the chat.
Okay. Through a long absence. Okay. Okay. How many lines down?
Through a long absence, these beautiful forms. It's after the hermit sits alone. These beauteous forms through a long absence. Shall I carry on? Might as well carry
Okay.
on.
The herb.
Oh, you got
Okay.
it?
Okay. You are.
Through a long absence. I'll let you go from there.
Okay. Okay. The confusing part here is I'm not looking at the whole poem.
Okay.
That would help. Here, let me look.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought I had they only had a part of it. Enter and Abby.
Okay.
That's easily.
Well, I'll carry on. For a long
Okay.
absence have not been to me as a landscape to a blind man's eye, but oft in lonely rooms and mid the dim of the towns and cities I owed to them. In hours of weariness, sensations sweet, felt in the blood and felt along the heart, and passing even into my purer mind with tranquil restoration, feelings too of unremembered pleasure, such perhaps as have no slight or trivial influence on the best a portion of a good man's life, his little, nameless, unremembered acts of kindness and of love, nor less, I trust. To them I may have owed another gift of aspect more sublime
Okay,
than
I'm caught up.
blessed mood. You'll carry on for the next bit?
Yeah, so in blessed mood, okay, in which the burthen of the mystery, in which the heavy and weary weight of all this unintelligible world is lightened, that serene and blessed mood in which the affections gently lead us on until the breath of this corporeal frame and even the motion of our human blood almost suspended, we are laid asleep in body and become a living soul, while with an eye made quiet by the power of harmony and the deep power of joy, we see into the life of things. That's beautiful.
isn't it?
Oh my lord, that is beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's magnificent. It really is. Do you want to continue?
Yep. If this be but a vain belief, yet oh, how oft in darkness and amid the many shapes of light, when the fretful stir unprofitable and the fever of the world having hung upon the beating of my heart, how oft in spirit have I turned to thee, O sylvan way, thou wanderer through
That's
the
Sylvan Wye, because that's the River
Sylvan
Wye.
Why?
Yeah,
Okay,
oh
wait.
Sylvan Wye.
Sylvan Why, thou wanderer through the woods, how often has my spirit turned to thee? Just I like how the flow. You can see how he hits the beats and
He's
the
meandering. He's
yes,
meandering. He's
it's
meandering like
just
the river. He's meandering like the
yeah,
river with the way he's saying it.
and it's just the natural rhythm of how you know it's just once you start reading it, you get that natural rhythm going through, and it shows to the just how damn good he was that he actually mm, leads you down to that cadence. He leads you into it. You know. Okay, let's
Funny, isn't it?
continue. A-
Yes.
And now, with gleams of half exhausted thought, with many recognitions dim and faint, and somewhat of a sadly perplexed, the picture of the mind revives again, while here I stand, not only with the sense of present pleasure, but with pleasing thoughts that in this moment there is life and food for future years. And so I dare to hope through change no excuse me, though changed no doubt from what I was when first I came among the hills, when like a roe I bounded o'er the mountains, by the sides of the deep rivers and the lonely streams, wherever nature led, more like a man flying from something dread that he dreads than one who sought the thing he loved. For nature then, the coarser pleasures of my boyish days, and their glad animal movements all gone by, to me was all in all. I cannot paint what then I was. I sound the sounding cataract haunted me like a passion. The tall rock, the mountain, and the deep and gloomy wood, their colors and their forms were were then to me an appetite, a feeling, and a love that had no need of a remoter charm, by thought supplied, nor any interest unborrowed from the eye, that the time it is past and all is aching joys are now no more, and all its dizzy raptures not for this excuse me, not for this faint eye, nor mourn nor murmur, other gifts have followed, for such loss I would believe abundant recompense. hence. For I have learned to look on nature not as in the hour of thoughtless youth, but hearing oftentimes the still sad music of humanity, nor harsh nor grating, nor though of ample power to chasten and subdue. And I have felt a presence that disturbs me with the joy of elevated thoughts, a sense sublime of something far more deeply interfused, with whose dwelling is the light of setting suns, and the round ocean, and the living air, and the blue sky in the mind of man, a motion and a spirit that impels all thinking things, all objects of all thought, all and rolls through all things. Therefore, I am still a lover of the meadows and the woods and mountains, and of all things that we behold from the green earth, from this green earth, and of the mighty world of eye and ear, both what they half create and what perceive, we please to recognize in nature and the language of the sense, the anchor of my purest thoughts, the nurse, the guide, the guardian of my heart and the soul of all my moral being. I really like the part both what they have create and what perceive of the eye and ear, where he's talking about it's like a lot of things is participatory, you know.
Yeah, the bit that here that says, therefore, am
Yeah,
I still a lover of the meadows and the woods and
yeah.
mountains?
Mm-hmm.
I know because I've lived just by here, so I
Uh-huh.
know it so well. And I didn't even know about this poem, by the way. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, it's brand new, but I know Tinton Abbey
Mm-hmm.
so well. Um, it
So is this see
it's perfect.
is this making you see it from a different perspective, or is
I
it
I
or is it
I have a bit of a arty head anyway. So for me, because I visualize it because I'm an artist, so these things that he's portraying, I can
so
visually see exactly
so
there.
you have a more tangible experience when you
Yeah,
more visceral experience when you hear this.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, you want to take up the next part?
Okay,
That's yeah. Well, that's pretty long. You read a little bit into it, and then I'll take over from there.
okay,
How's that sound?
cool. Nor preference, nor perchance, sorry. If I were not thus taught, shall I the more suffer, more genial spirits to decay? For thou art with me here upon the banks of this fair river, thou my dearest friend, my dear, dear friend, and in the voice I catch the language of my former heart, and read my former pleasures in the shooting lights of thy wild eyes. Oh, yet a little while, maybe I behold in thee what I was once, my dear, dear sister, and this prayer I make, knowing that nature never did betray the heart of that loved her. 'Tis her privilege through all the years of this our life to lead for joy to joy, for she can so inform the mind that is within us, so impress with quietness and beauty, and so feed with lofty thoughts that neither evil tongues, rash judgments, nor the sneers of selfish men, nor greetings where no happiness is, nor all the dreary intercourse of daily life shall e'er prevail against us? ever, I presume that is, prevail against us or disturb our cheerful faith that all which we behold is full of blessings.
Okay, I'll
There,
go. I'll get. You want me to continue from here?
yeah, yeah, cool. I can have a grape then because I'm drying up.
Okay, okay. Here, let me. That sounds like a good idea. All right. To continue. Therefore, let the moon shine on thee in thy solitary walk, and let the misty mountain winds be free to blow against thee. And after years, when these wild ecstasies shall be matured into a sober pleasure, when thy mind shall be a mansion for all lovely forms, thy memory be a dwelling place for all sweet sounds and harmonies. Oh, then if solitude or fear or pain or grief should be thy portion, with what healing thoughts of tender joy wilt thou remember me and these my exhortations, nor perchance, if I should be where I no more can hear thy voice, nor catch thy wild eyes these gleams of past existence, whilst thou then forget that on the banks of this delightful stream we stood together, and that I, so long a worshipper of nature, hither came unwearied in that service, rather say, with warmer love, oh, with far deeper zeal of holier love, nor wilt thou then forget that after many wanderings, many years of absence, these steep woods and lofty cliffs, and this green pastoral landscape, were to me more dear, both for themselves and for thy sake.
How lovely,
Yes,
isn't it?
it's
Isn't it
it,
beautiful?
it is. It's just this. What he's saying there at the end. To me, it says, that in your youth and stuff, it's one thing, but when you're it's about reflecting. We're reflecting on stuff and seeing the beauty in nature and in life. And when life gets you down, like I said, there's crap going on. You have to go to the ER for diverticulitis or get your foot operated on. You can
Yeah.
you can you can just read this guy's words from 200 years ago, and it just transports you, and for you it's probably even more real
Yeah.
because you've been there, and it
Yeah,
reminds.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And the cliffs he's talking, I know because the River Wye cuts through these cliffs
and
and it makes a massive gorge.
it reminds me of this place that me and my buddies, my the guys I grew up with, used to hang out at, up just a little north of here, along the Cadron, which it cuts through. We have a lot of shale. That's when the fracking boom happened, they did a lot of the gas. They did a lot of fracking around here because there's a lot of shale, and
Okay.
so it cut one. It's like a similar, like a gorge, right? And there's this rock formation, right, that looks like a table, right? It's flat. It comes down like this, like a table, and it goes out like this, you know.
Okay.
And we get on there. There's a little gap between the cliffs that we jump over on it and everything, but it's just along there. It's just all beautiful, and it's wooded, and you got the river going through, cutting through, and stuff. It's just beautiful. So that's what it reminds me of. So in a way, I can.
It's amazing.
It's just.
As I said, I've
Mhm.
not listened to that poem before. As
It's
I said, I'm
just.
not a big, I don't really read
Yeah.
poetry, and I wandered lonely as a cloud. That was
Hmm.
what we always
Yeah,
did
that's one
at
of the most
school.
famous. Yeah.
But that one,
Hmm.
because I've been there as well, I think has
So,
much more of a
and that's the first.
impact.
That's the first time I've read that since probably I studied it in college. So.
Oh wow!
Hmm.
Mac, you like slightly too late.
Mhm. Hi.
Well, yeah. Hello, everybody. Just want to say hi and thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for joining us.
We've had
Um,
go on.
okay, so if like and subscribe to both of us,
Yes, like, share, and subscribe.
subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family,
Yeah,
tell your
do all of those things.
tell your third and fourth cousins.
And
Uh,
we've just had a very good afternoon of just our 420 moment here, and
definitely. Next week
yeah,
is Keats.
it's Keats, and it's in 2 weeks. Two
In
weeks,
2 weeks,
two
2 weeks.
weeks. I should get
Next
the banner
time,
up and show everybody. We're doing
to
Keats. Yes, Keats.
John Keats.
Doing
Next,
Calm Keats. And we're gonna do one poet a week, we decided, wasn't it? Because doing all
everyone,
different ones, now we
every
can learn about
every
one poet.
every once in a while we'll do themes. Most likely, the next one will be Halloween,
Oh yeah.
Christmas,
Uh-huh.
maybe Valentine's Day, depending on if we want to do an anti-love or a pro-love. Definitely St. Patty's Day is just the holidays, just general stuff. But most of the time, we'll feature a poet and just read a couple of them and have a good time.
Yeah, and have a dude together.
Willie wants a link for your channel, Miss J.
I have popped it in. Hopefully he's got it. I'll do it
I don't.
again. I'll put it in the
Uh,
chat again. It's there. There
we'll
it is
put it.
again.
I'll put it in the description later on when I'm more
It's that.
coherent
There you go.
to go there. But
It's really easy.
he might be streaming, watching it on my channel, and
So yeah, I've popped it up on here, my lovely. So it's www.youtube.com/@ I am Mrs. J. IAMMRSJ, and that is me. And
cool.
so hopefully, Willie Reed, you will see me. And also, I'm in
Oh,
Alex's a lot. So I'm live
here,
on
hold on a second.
Wednesday. Oh, go on.
Here, just in case, I finally figured it out. You got to forgive me, Mr. Willie Weed. I got stoned and I missed it. There you go. I put it up on mine. I kind of finally figured it out.
Yay! There we go.
All right, Miss J. Everybody, I guess that's a good place to end.
It is, and it's been lovely.
I totally
Back on
enjoy
in
it.
2 weeks with
2 weeks.
Poet, and you'll see me on Wednesday at 7 p.m.
In the
And
meantime,
oh, go on.
in the meantime, I will continue my recovery, and hopefully soon I'll have some videos out. And I plan on starting some other shows featuring poets and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that when I'm in better health.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. I'm live Wednesday with Alex talking UK Scientology.
Cool.
So join me at 7 p.m. UK time for that. And we will love you and leave you. I hope you all had a nice time.
I had a blast. I had a blast, even with the dog being annoying, but he loves me anyways. Okay.
Cool. Well, and my there we go. I'm going to plug in, otherwise I'm going to lose power. There we go.
Okie dokie.
Right then, lovelies. Have a wonderful day. Poet, I'll speak to you soon, and everyone else. Tune in on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.
We end.